Doot, 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 doot. And hello, everyone. How are you doing, Mama?
I'm doing all right. How are you this evening?
Doing okay. What all have you been up to?
Um, Not a whole heck of a lot.
Same here.
Oh, there was a small fire at work yesterday.
Oh, that is. Was anyone hurt?
No.
That's good.
Um, we all thought it was just a drill because it was at the same time drills always occur.
Hmm.
And yeah, 3:15, and then like a half hour later, we were released back into the break rooms. We could go to
Hmm.
the break rooms. That was it, which got us out of the sun.
Yeah.
And I mean, at that point, and And there we sat in the break rooms until end of shift.
Hmm. I'm surprised they didn't just let y'all leave early, unless it
Yeah,
was
that
like.
would have been um it didn't affect night shift. Night shift was able to come in and work their shift hours. So so yeah, I was surprised we didn't go back to work. So I don't know exactly what all happened other than it was
Yeah.
reported that there was a small fire.
At least everyone was safe.
Hmm.
I had a few events over the weekend. Nothing major. Still working on finding a house, but aside from that, yeah, I think it's Sudoku time. First puzzle for today is going to be Hypnotic Suggestion by Atticus837. Link in the chat if you'd like to give it a go. Stare into the swirling Sudoku grid as I count down to 1 and back up again. Let my voice wash over you as you relax your mind and enter a state of calm obedience. When I snap my fingers, you will say exactly what you see. Normal 8x8 Sudoku rules apply. Place the digits 1 through 8 once each in every row, column, and 2x4 box. Look and say cages. Read the clue out loud to describe the contents of the cage. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 says there is 1, 2, 3 4s, 5 6s, and 7 8s in the cage. So, you color these. There are 8 7s in this cage, which is going to place a 7 here, and there, and here, and here, and here, which is going to finish that one, and that one. And am I missing one? Here? So there's our 8 7s. Now I have 7 8s, which means there is 1 8 in the blue region.
Right.
7 8s. Well, this can be at most 1. And now I can have
Well,
2.
given that blue takes exclusively up rows 1 and column 8.
Yeah. Oh. So there has to be at least 1 8 in this row, and at least 1 8 in this column, And since there's only 1 8 in the entire blue region, then the 8 must be in the top right corner.
Right. So in column 2, there's exactly 1 red,
Where the 8
and
could
there
go.
has to be an 8. Column 6,
Okay.
right,
Column
you missed one
7.
for row 7.
Thank you. Column 7 has to have an 8 in it. So does column 5. Oh,
Column
row
4.
8.
Yeah. Well,
Column
column
4
4,
can't be there or there.
so now you can go to column 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. So sixes. There are 5 sixes in red. And 1,
That would be
2. That would be what?
there would be 2 6s then in blue.
No, 3. Because
Oh,
there are
right,
5
because there's 5.
sixes.
I was adding 6 and 2 is 8.
Although I think, would the 6 5s or the 5 6s be more important to look at right now? Six fives. Well, let's just take a look at the 6 5s, because this 7 takes it out entirely from row 2. But there's no other row that it's out completely from.
5 6s, right?
Yeah, 5 6s in red and 3 6s in blue. There are 6 5s in blue and 2 in red.
Okay, red has 6 rows that are available to use.
Yeah. I guess we could look at the 2 1s that are in blue. Therefore, there are 6 1s in red.
Ah, yeah.
And so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns. So
Yep.
the 1s must go in spaces where it's required. So it had to go here because this column needs a 1 and it must be in red.
Right.
So that takes it all out of there. So now we get another one here. Four more. So that was going to be this one. This one. And then here and here. And so in blue, one there, and one there.
Yeah. All right. And now 5 sixes in red. Because there are only now 5 rows that can
So
be
that places a 6 here. And here.
column 4.
And there.
Yeah.
And then these two. And then the 3 in blue. One, two, three. And now there are 6 5s in blue. We're missing one column. One column and one row, but I think that's all that we're missing. Otherwise, blue reaches everywhere.
Yeah.
So the 6 5s aren't that helpful yet. There is 1 2 in red, therefore there are 7 2s in blue. And since I'm only
There are
missing one row and one column, then that gives me here and here for 2s. And then here's a 2.
That's odd. That's only 4 twos for the whole thing.
1 2 3.
Because blue has
Blue has
Oh, right,
7
2s aren't
2s.
noticed. 2s aren't mentioned, right.
Yeah. There's 1 2 in red.
Right, so 7 2s in blues. I knew that.
Those 2 are 2s. And 2 there. So red is 2 that and 2 that doesn't. Okay, how about 3s?
4 3s in blue.
And 4 3s in red as well.
Right. Well, row 4 has 1 spot available for blue.
But how many total do I see? 1 2
Oh, that's
3
5.
4 5 6.
6. Yeah. Alright, well, there's 4 4s in red also,
Yeah.
which is 4 rows or 4 columns. Row 5. Row 5, column 1. Row 4, column 7. row 7, column 3, and row 2, column 5.
Can we get 5s now? Because there are 6 5s in blue. Oh, hello, voice. Forgot to pull it up on my phone, and then I forgot to mute it on my phone. Okay. 6 5s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we definitely have, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we definitely have these two. Of course, we're also just
Column 4 needs a 5.
4, 5. What am I missing? Man?
All right, well, let's
1,
start with
2,
ones.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 7s.
6 5s in blue. Oh, well, that'll work too.
There should be 2 1s in blue. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 1s in red. There should be 7 8s in red. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 1 in blue. 8 7s, 7 8s. 6 5s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 2 extras. 5 6s in red. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, 3 extras. Hold on, I'm just going to do blue first. So 8 7s.
Okay.
I don't see a 7 in blue. Or, excuse me, I don't see a 7 in red. So that's 8 7s. 6 5s. And there should be 2 in red. Everything else should be in blue. So that's right. 4 3s. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
You have 5. There's a there should be a, yeah.
This row's missing something. So it's missing
4
a 4.
3s. In both blue and in 3 4s in red.
Okay, so there's a 4. And you said 3 4s in red. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 8 7s, 7 8s. So there should be 5 6s in red and 3 outside. So I don't have 5s, I don't have 4s, I don't have 3s. So 2s. There is 1 2 in red. There's the 1 2 in red. Everything else is in blue. And 1s. There are 2 1s in blue. 2 2. Everything else is in red. Okay. Torak says, you need to undo more, unfortunately. That might be enough. Okay. So, there are
6 5s in blue.
6 5s and 4 3s. 3 4s and 5 6s. So I don't know where 4s are,
Well,
right?
do the 6 5s in blue.
The 6 5s in blue. So if I'm just looking at blue, then, well, here, 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 and there. And I should have 6 5s. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Right, row 4.
Row 4 is a 5. Here's a 5. It's not blue.
Row 5.
One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 5s. So all of the other 5s, the other 2 5s should be in red. Okay, my 3s. There are 4 3s. There are 3 4s in red. So there are 5 4s in blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's a 4, that's a 4. 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4. First try. Alright. I don't know what mistake I made earlier. Or why I made it. Now, cluck like a chicken, and when I snap my fingers, you will wake up and forget everything. Not sure how it happened, but it seemed like you switched all the 3s and 4s the first time around. It's definitely possible. I could
Probably
have
just
messed up which one I was doing. Everything else seemed correct, yeah. Row 5. I will agree that this is a pretty easy puzzle. Honestly,
keep the numbers straight.
yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say this is a very easy puzzle. Like, mistakes happen at all difficulties. And I'm not gonna say that the fact that I made a mistake made the puzzle any harder. It just meant that I did the puzzle wrong. And mistakes happen regardless of the difficulty. So, yeah, like if I had made that mistake, then I would have found it easier. And so, having made the mistake, the puzzle was harder, but I shouldn't have made the mistake. I don't know. Wires getting crossed in my brain happens all the time. So, I have nothing else to say on this puzzle. So yeah. Doot. And submit rating. Did not do that yet. And copy the link into my notepad. And then let's get on to the next puzzle. Puzzle number 2 for today will be Diamond in the Rough by F-Jam. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Box borders divide each blue line into segments with the same sum. Cells separated by a black dot must contain digits with a ratio of 1 to 2. Not all dots are given. Link in the chat if you'd like to give it a go. And let's get started here. Do I want to... I don't think I really want to paint the 1 to 2 ratio dots right away. So this is a segment of 3 that has to sum to whatever this is. So this is 679. Now, this one down here should be separated into multiple different segments. This should be a segment, that should be a segment, this should be a segment, this one, and that one. So this one's split into 5 different segments. I could be wrong, however...
It usually works.
Yeah. Okay. I will mark these two. So the 1 to 2 ratio Kropke dots, the smallest digit can be a 1, which can be doubled to 2, a 2, which can be doubled to 4, a 3 doubled to 6, a 4 doubled to 8. You can't double 5, that'll make 10. And anything larger cannot be the smallest digit. But you can still have 6 and 8 because they can be halved because of 3 and 4, respectively. Now, if I were to make this a 6, this would be a 4-8 pair. What would be available over here if this was a 6? Well, I couldn't do 6 and 3. This one would not be 1 or 2, so this wouldn't be 4 or 8, but then this one wouldn't be 1 or 2, so then this wouldn't have a possibility. So, we know that this isn't a 6. Can it be a 7? We still have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8 possibilities. A 7 doesn't take off any options on its own, but these would have to be 1, 2, 4. So 1, 2, and 4 is removed from those, and since there is no 4, this can't be an 8, then this cannot be 3 and 6, but this can still be an 8, and then this one be a 4 as a possibility. So that would work. So 99 still options here. Although, would this still have possibilities? I'm not sure. This is minimum 5, because I could go 1, 2, 3, 4 here. Although, if this was a 5, say I did this. 1, 4, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So you couldn't do 1s here, so no 4s here. You can't do a 3 there, so that's not a 2. This isn't a 2, so that's not a 3. But I'm not... Like, this can be a 1 and a 4, and this could also be a 1 and a 4. But it could be a 3 and a 2 as well. So there's nothing stopping that from being 5 that I can tell. What about the middle part? If we think about this diamond... Wait. I don't even need to think about the diamond. I can just think about this column and this row. I know that the column and the row sum to 90 if I double the middle digit, because it would be doubly counted. Because a column is 45 and a row is 45, and so double count this one, and I get 90. So whatever this is, plus whatever that is, plus whatever that is, plus whatever that is, plus whatever this is going to be 5 sets of the same sum. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, whatever the sum is, the remainder here so it's 5x plus 2y equals 90. If I subtract 5x, so let me if I do Sudoku, cool. So that popped up on the right thing. So I have 90 is equal to, zoom in there, 5x plus 2y. The 2y is the whatever digits in the center. If I subtract the 5x to the other side, then I can divide these both by 5.
18.
Thank you. Give me an parenthesis. Then I can divide by 5. That means that y must be divisible by 5. Because I know that y is an integer. I know that x is an integer. And the fact that y is being multiplied by 2 doesn't give it a multiple of 5. So the only digit, 1 through 9, that is divisible by 5 is the number 5. Which means that this is now 2. And if I swap my x and 2, as I subtract 2 to the other side, add x back to the other side, I get x is equal to 16. And 16 plus 5 is equal to 21. And 45 minus 21 is equal to 24. So that is what these 4 sum to. 24 and 4 is 6 less than the most that I could put in 4, so I don't know if that's really helpful. But I do know that these two are going to both be 16. Now, the other thing...
Work. Oh, yeah, it does. Never mind. I forgot about the other 2 blue inside. I was only going 16 and 16 is 32.
Right.
And 5. That's only 37.
And so the 8. Remainder
is 8.
Yeah.
Comes to 8.
And the other way I could have gone about it is that these 2 blue regions cancel out with these 2 red regions, and then that cancels out, and then we still know that red is equal to blue. And if these are 8, then I cannot use 4, So that would be 1, 2, 6, 7, because I can't use 3 and 5. 1, 2, 6, 7. That's going to remove 7 as an option here. And we have 4, 8, 9, and 3.
Yes, but look at the Kropke dots.
Well, I'm going to have to put 3, 6 on here, so this can't be a 3.
The 8 comes off of the Kropke dots.
Right. If this is a 9, wait, no. The only way this could be a 1 is if this was a 9. But if it was a 9 that did not have a 1 on it, it would be 2, 3, 4, which would break this. So this is 7, and that one's 1. Now, since we know that this isn't 2, 3, 4, it must have a 1 on it, it cannot be 1, 3, 4, 4, 8. So it could be 1, 2, 5, or it could be 1, 2, 6, or 1, 3, 5. Oh, the same is true over here. So I have to have a 1 on it. It could be 1, 2, 6, except that would break this. So 1, 2, 6 isn't an option. It could be 1, 3, 5, but it cannot be 1, 3, 4. So it could be 1, 2, 5. But a 5 is required? 2, 3, 4, not allowed. So 1, 2, 6, also not allowed. So a 1 is required. 1, 3, 5. That would leave 2 and 4. That's an option. Okay, that's for 9. And then for 8, I have 1, 3, 4, which would break. So 1, 2, 5 would not break. And that would leave 3, 6. So yeah, a 5 is required.
Okay, and 16 in 3 with neither 1 nor 5. Box 2.
1, 5. Now, the 2 or the 3 that's in here pairs with the 2 or 3 that's missing here as well, right?
Yeah.
So 2, 3. Because this is either 1, 3, 5 and a 2, 4, or this is 1, 2, 5 and a 3, 6. Now, this cannot be both 8 and 9 because of 2 reasons. Okay. But you were looking at
Yes.
box 2?
Yeah. 16 in 3 cells.
1, 5, 9, 1, 7, 8. Well, I guess I don't have a 1.
Can't use 1.
So we have 2, and 14 is 5, 9. 2, 6, 8. I can't use a 5. So 3 and 13 be 4, 9. 3, 5, 8. 3, 6, 7. Can't use a 5.
And you can't use 5, 8, or 6, 7 because that would break the 7.
Right. So 4 and 12 would be 4, 5, 7 as the only option. And again, I can't
Right.
use 5 or 7. So that's all the options, right? For 16 in 3
Yeah.
without 1, 5, or 7.
So one of them is 268, the other is 349.
Yeah. And that's true on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Either way, in box 8, a 4 is required in column 4. No, never mind.
no, because you could do the
Because if
349 here.
349 is down there, it'd be 678. Never mind.
What about the or not column? We just did column 5. Um, what about row 5? I can use a 1 on one side, and I'll have to. So that's either, well, it can't be 159, so it has to be 168. But that's
Can't
not
be,
possible. Hold on.
but just
Yeah, it has to be 16, and I need a 1.
178.
178.
Yes, 7 8's
Oh,
15
right,
and
right,
1 is
right.
16.
Yeah. I think, what?
Which means the right side the box 6 has to be the 178.
Yeah. I don't know what I messed up, but
And that has to
one
have
seven eight two six five three four
39
nine.
and 349.
So 3's not a possibility. So it has to be 1 2, and either 5 or 6. 1 2 3 4 9.
And those
Either
sum
way,
to either
8.
20 or 21.
You said these 3?
Uh-huh.
Now the
Because
8's required here. So 9, 8. So then 5 and 2. So that's going to be 6, 2, 4, 3, 6, 8. And 4, 7, 9 is going to put what up here? Did row 5. 3, 4, 9.
yeah,
And
268.
then the others are going to be 2, 6, 8, 4, 7, 9, 1, 3, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8.
And that one sits at the top of it. No. Okay, the one in box 4 has to include a 7. So in
Right.
box 8, it cannot include a 7 because 4 and 9 are not available in the other one. So it's 13. So it's 6 7 in the top one.
This must have a 5 on it because 1 4 or 1 3 to make 4 doesn't work. So that's
Right.
not 5. Can't have a
Well, so the
7,
sum
so
is either
7's
6 or
required.
8. So the blue in box 9 is 6 or 8.
Right.
And actually, 1, 1, 2, and 3 or 8 is out because yellow, you can't make 8 because
True.
1 and 7's out, 2 and 6 out, 3 and 5 is out. So it has to be 6. And the purple can't be 1 5.
this one, I also have to have a 7 on here because it can't be on the Black Rocky dot. 4 here fixes that. 15, 6, 3, 1, 2 pair. Okay, I don't need any color anymore. 3, 7, 8, 9. Those is 3, so that is 8, 9, 7, 8, 7. 4 and 6.
The column 3 black Kropke, or just Kropke, is from 248. Because it sees a 1 in the column, and it sees 3 and 6 in the column, so. And the row 3 Kropke is 3, 6. Because 2 and 4 are there, so it can't go to 1 or 8.
Okay, column 8 is missing 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Or 8, 9.
7 and 5.
Row 1, 7 is the first digit.
Row 9. I don't see a 2, and I don't see a 5. 1, 2, 5. Row 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9.
Three and 8.
This one, 8. One, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5 and 9 are left.
Yeah. Row 1 and row 2. First try. Alright. It was a pretty easy puzzle. The hardest part was, I think, just this. But even then, that's just some basic mathematics. Which maybe, because I've said before, mathematics immediately bumps the puzzle up to easy. But I don't know. I'm going to be consistent. I'm going to call it an easy puzzle and not a very easy one. Because you have to know the divisibility rules and stuff, and algebra, which some people find tricky even if they're doing Sudoku puzzles. So, yeah. All right, I don't really have anything else to say about this puzzle. Submit rating. Actually, a bit surprised that most people are rating it 2 stars, or averaging around 2 stars. Usually, I'm rating things a bit higher than everyone else, but I think that's a good or a fine rating. Nothing else to say about that one, and I need to save the link in here. Go. Did forget. Back. Alright. Paste. by F. Chan, I think it was. Alright, puzzle number 3. It's going to be Pi Day 2024. We are a little late, but you know, better late than never. Link in the chat if you'd like to give it a go. Pi Day 2024 by Dr. Logic. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Killer cage. Digits in a cage must not repeat and sum to the clue in the top left. Ratio. Black dot separates cells in a 1 to 2 ratio. Not all are given. Thermo. Digits on a gray thermometer must increase from the bulb end. Anti-night. Cells separated by a knight's move in chess cannot contain the same digit.
Well, the 14 page in box 5 has to be 6-8.
So it cannot be 5-9 because of the black croppy dot.
Row 1.
2,
The 24 cage.
79.
And that's a 4.
3, 6, 5. 3, 6, 8. Not a 6. 31 leaves how much left over?
14.
14. 14 in 3.
Well, if you look at column 8, there's a 2 cage and a 6 cage.
This is probably because, well, wait, hold on. Well, despite the fact that this is 31, I think the ones overlap, so that would be 3.1415926 for pi. Where can I put a 9 in this box? It can't go in the 9 cage, it can't go in the 14 cage, and it cannot be the bulb. So it has to be one of those two. 15 is 6, 7, 8, 9, where neither of these is 6, so neither can be 9.
Because of anti-night.
7, 8. And then we get 8 across here. Not particularly helpful. Where can I put a 2? It's not there, and it's not there. If I can put 2 anywhere else otherwise. 1, 2, 4, 8. Or that's not a 2. This isn't an 8. Otherwise, it's fine. I cannot put a 6 in here because of anti-night and Sudoku.
So it can't be 1, 2, 6.
These two don't have a 2, and that doesn't have a 3. Can't put a 5 on a crocodile. This one can't be a 1 because that can't be a 2. Okay, I could have 3, 4, and 2. But if this was a 4, those couldn't be 2, 3. So this is a 2, and therefore this is 1 or 4. So if these are 7, I don't have 1 and 6 as an option. Nor do I have 2 and 5. So 3, 4, that can still be a 4, because that can be a 4 with it. Now we get 8 as one of those two. 2. Two, 3, and 6. So 3's not an option. 1's not an option. No, 6 isn't an option either. 3, 6 pair definitely removes that as an option. 8 can't be in the top because of the 7, 8, 9 there. Okay, so we have either 10 or 12 left over here.
Well, if it's 10, it's 3, 7. And if it's 12, well, it can't be 4, 8.
Got plenty of options.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever this digit is, where does it go in this box? Well, this is a 3, 4, and Sudoku and Anti-Night remove that. The 2 and the 6 aren't 3 or 4. So if I mark this in red, it has to be one of those two. However, it could then be read as one of those 3 and be just fine. If we look in this box, it can't be any of those 3. But I don't know if that's helpful anywhere else.
Right, if red is in the 31 cage in row 3,
Well, couldn't be this one, because 3 and 4. So if it is in the 31 cage, it must be here.
yeah. But if
And it
it's
would have
not,
to
then
be a 4. So it would have to be here. I can place several 8s. According to... So we have the ones up here. Anti-night. Anti-night. Those two. This one anti-night's that.
Well, box 4 already has an 8.
Neither of those is 8, so that actually gives us an 8 here. This 8 anti-nights that, and that. So then that gives us those pairs of 8s. All 3 of these see that one. This sees those, so this takes out those 2. And then that gives me 8s. Interesting.
Oh, and you can get rid of that red in the 31 cage. It was just... Unless you don't want to, and that's...
Yeah. Trying to decide, because in this row, it could be in those 3 locations. What about just simply in box 1? It would have to be one of these 2. And this one, it would be a 3. Because it couldn't be a 4. But if this was the 3, then...
Well, okay, if red has to be one of those 2 and red is 3 or 4, red has to be 3.
Yeah. Well, red could just simply be the 4 up here.
Right, okay.
But if I'm saying if it had to be, say, this one, then where could red go in here? Well, if it's this one, it's not 7, 8, 9. It's not one of those 2, and it's not one of those 2 by anti-night and Sudoku here. But then these 2 cannot both be 3, so
Right.
this cannot be red. So now red must be one of those 2. Red cannot be that one. Thorax says you can solve the cells outside the cage in row 3.
Oh yeah, you've got an 8 on the Kropke dot in column 9.
All right, a 4, which leaves 10, which is 3, 7. Yeah, I'm probably overthinking this part here. It's probably completely irrelevant.
Which leaves 5, 6, and 9 in box 1.
Anti-night. 5, 6, 9, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, how about 6s? Where can I place a 6 in here? This is going to rule it out of those and those. 1 and 8 is 6. So it must be one of these 2, which gives me a 6 here, except for the middle. That 6 is going to line up with those, to say 6s must be here. This can't be a 6 because it would see both of those, and of course this 6 over here. So then we have 6s in here, not there. This 6 rules it out of those 2. This one rules it out of that. 6s is one of these 2. What could this even be? It's not 8, 3. It's not a 6 or a 7. And it's not a 4. Because of the 3, 4. I don't know. 4 has to be one of these 3. Anti-Knight removes it from here. Where can I put a 4 in this box? 4 isn't 1, 2, or 8. This 4 sees those 2 and that one. Now, these 2 both see this one. So this can't be a 4. So 4 is one of those 2. So it must be one of these 2. And 1 in box 5 and 4, followed by 2 in box 4. So 1 in box 5 and 4. So where is 1? Removes from one of those 2. So 1 must be one of these 2. So I get here. It's just across the middle. Am I missing something there? Followed by 2 in box 4. Oh, well, it's also 2. Well, then those 3 have to be 1, 2, 6.
Which row 5 leaves 5, 7, 9. And it can't be 9 in box 5.
Right. So it must be one of those 2. Uh, 1, 2, 3, 6, 8. Well, it can't be a 9. So 9 has to be one of these 2. Oh, and these 2 both see that one, so this isn't a 4. So now that's 5, 7, 9. 3, 4, 6. Not a 4.
And the 4 in row 4 is in box 4. That's row 5.
Oh, right. So 4 is out. Say 2, 3, 7, 1.
Well, and the
And
bulb
can't
can't
put 9.
be.
This one can't be 7 either.
Yeah.
I'll leave the superscript for now, but it's getting a little cluttered.
Box 5, center bottom, can't be a 4 because it sees both of the 3, 4. And it can't be 3 either. For the same reason. So, never mind. And the thermo that goes from box 5 to 6 can't have 3 on the tip.
6, 5, 3, 4. But now 3 has to be one of these 2. Which is not particularly insightful. One, 2 pair. 3, 8, 7 is on everything. This is just 6. Okay. Whatever digit this is, it's in box 2. It can't be here, and by Antonite, it can't be there. It's not an 8, and it's not a 3 or a 5, and it's not a 3, 5, or 6. So it has to be this digit. So those are both 7, 9, but this one sees a 7 for here, so they're both 1, 2, 4, and 7. So 1, 4, and 7. So yeah, that's 2. Neither of those, excuse me, neither of these two is 2. This is 6. Where's 2 in this row? 1, 2 takes it out of there. A 2 in here takes it out of there. So I have to have 2 here. This 2, that 2, both see there by Infinite, and this one by Sudoku. So that's 2. So then that's 2. One of these 2. One of those 2. Three, 5, 6, I believe. Neither of which is 3, so that's 5, that's 6. No. There's a 3 in the row. It's not 3, 5, 6. Silly me. 1, 5, 6. 5, 6. 1.
Column 6, the 3 has to be in box 5.
Why does it?
Look at box 5.
Oh, right. Because these can't be 3. This can't be 3 because of the 3, 4. This one sees both of those, so it can't be there. This can't be a 3
Sees the
because...
3 in box 4
Right.
by Antonite.
So 3 is one of these 2. That's not a 3.
I know 1 and 9 go in the bottom. But I'm not sure about. Column 5 has a 1, 5, 7 triple. So the 4
4,
has, yeah.
which makes 4 in... No, because that could be 4.
Mm-hmm.
Things are pretty limited. Four, 2, 6. Now, this can't be a 6. 6 had to be one of those two? Because this column, I cannot put a 6 in one of those two. 3, 8, and 1, 2 are not 6. This one can't be 6 because the 6 has to be over here. This sees that 6, so now 6 has to be one of those two. So anything else? Not a 6. And 1 has to be over here because it can't be in any of the rest. This can't be a 1 because of anti-9. And then it couldn't get in the 9 for whatever reason. That required too much. That one already has a 1 and anti-knight. So 1 takes 1s out of there. 4 has to be one of these two. So none of these are 4. 3, 5 pair makes a 2 and a 7. And now 1, 3, 4, 5 makes a 7. Five, 9 makes a 7.
Row 9, you can place a 7.
One, 3, 6. Not 6 apparently. One, 2, 3, 4, 5,
About
9.
7.
6, 9, 1, 6, 1, 5, 3, 6, 5, 3, 5, 6, 6, 4, 5, 4, 5, 3. Ta-da! Save in notes. Paste into Object Masters Germany. Also known as Half Tau Day. Please leave a comment on your thoughts. Row 1. Column 1. There it is. Um, I definitely missed some things that I should have been able to see. And it did. I I couldn't see whatever was in here until I started filling in digits. I think it was this 2 and then this followed by this 7. Um, this is the 3-5 pair here. And then I didn't see the 8s everywhere. And then the 1-2-6 I thought was really tricky to spot. It didn't take particularly long. We filled in this 8, and then that should have given us this right away, because we already solved for if this was a 4, then that was 10, which is 3 and 7 in that order. Spent a while looking at this 3-4 and asking ourselves if that was red, what did that mean? And that wasted a lot of time, because that ultimately wasn't productive.
Oh.
Average-ish. Didn't feel awfully difficult. I'm gonna go with average-ish unless you think otherwise.
That's fine.
Alright. Last puzzle for today is going to be Tangram Killer by Michael Lefkowitz. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Digits in a cage sum to the number in its corner. Cells that half appear in a cage only contribute half their value to its sum. Digits appear at most once in the same cage. Half appearing twice counts as appearing once. Okay. 2. And since they're both halves, this is 4. 1, 3. 5, where we have a full digit and a half digit. So this has to be even in order to be halved. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. But I can do 2, 4, 6, 8 to be the other of 1, 2, 3, 4.
Box 5 has a 2 cage. Be a 1 and a 2 that's halved.
It would have to be one. Oh, right. A 1 followed by a 2. So then that's 1. So then this.
And that's 6, 7, 9.
13. So 2, 4, 6, 8, which is going to become smaller. The minimum in this
That's going
in
to
a
be an 8
13
and
is
a
a
half.
4. Yeah. Nine, where we have 2 halves and a whole. 7, 2, 4, 6, 8, which would be 6 with 1, 5 with 2, 4 with 3, or 3 with 4. 7 in a weird shape.
And 2 of those are halved.
Yeah. Which is
2, 4, and 6. Can't use 8. Or, well, it'd be 4 and 6.
Well,
2
they
and
could
3.
both be odd. They could be 1, 3.
Oh, right, because there's 2 of them.
Yeah.
Never mind.
And then that would leave 5 left. Ah. But if I made this 2, then 5 left over isn't enough. Oh, I missed a link to the puzzle. There we go. So 1, 3 is not going to work. The but the most I can put in here is 5. Because the minimum in the half part is 2. Because there's no way to make 1. Because that would have to double to 2. And then there's no way to make 2 in 2 cells. The minimum's 3. 3 can't be halved. So 4. 4 can be halved to make 2. So this is maximum 5. 1 through 4. Not a 1. So this can't be a 4. Now, it cannot be a 5, because that would make this 2. The only way to make 2 is a 1, 3, and that would make that a 2, and that a 4, which is 6, which is not 5. So, this is not 2, so let's say it was 3. If it was 3, then this remains down to 4, which would be a 1 and a 3. And then to get 3, I could do 2, 4, except I can't use 2, 4, and then I can't do 1, 5, because then I'd have to reuse the 1. So now this is 4, and this has to be 3, which is going to be a 1 and a 2. And so this is sums to 8, which is either
3 and
3,
5.
5. It can only be 3, 5. 3, 5, 2, 7, 9. You can't have a 1 here. Whatever these two are, they have to be the same parity, so that they can't have a 1 in it. Same oddness or evenness. So now 13. This is either 5, 6, or 7.
Well, it can't be 7, because that would leave 6 to be done in 2, and you can't do 1, 5, or 2, 4.
Right, because this is minimum
So
7.
it cannot be 6, 8, right?
So this is 5 or 6. And if this is minimum 7, well, 5 means I can go up to 8. So this has to have a 3. And it's either 4, 6 or 4, 8.
Uh-huh.
So then this has to be 3, 5 for 8. And 8 plus 5 is 13.
Which places the 8 in box 2?
1, 3, 5, 4, 6. Down to 2. This has to be even, so 7 and 9 come out. A 2 would make 9. So that's an 8, which pairs with a 4. 6,
No.
4.
The 8 pairs with a 6, because half of 8 is 4.
That's 3, that would pair with 2. Yeah, I don't. That was an easy swap to make, but I wish I hadn't done it. But it doesn't matter. Nothing else changes, I don't think. Okay. These all have to be the same parity. Because if this is odd, that has to be odd as well to make it remain an integer. Right. And so if this was odd, then that had to be odd to make that an integer. Now, that does not mean that these two have to be the same. If this is odd, then one of them has to be odd, but these cannot be both odd unless this is even. But we do know that these three all have to be the same oddness or evenness. Four, 5, 6, 8. 4, 5, and 6, because 8's ruled out of there and there. 3, 5. Is that a 4, 6? 4, 6, and what, 2? No, there's a 2 right there. 1, 2, 3,
7, 9.
4.
Oh. Yeah, that 4, 6, 7,
4,
9 is what's
6,
the box.
7, 9. There we go. And it's also the rest of that box. $31 has a similar thing going on with this 12, where I could have 2 odds or just 3 evens. Well, what's the maximum I can make this? 24 divided by 2 is 12. So if I made this 12, then I would still need well, 654 is 15, which is not the required 19 that I need. So I couldn't make this 24. But I could make that 24 for the maximum, and so the minimum left over is 7. Doubled that means the minimum here is 14. But that's just the minimum. Well, 24 and 14 is 38. So I'd have 7 left over. And is that the maximum this could be? If the minimum here is 14, then if I shrink this, this increases, and then this would decrease. Right? So, I mean, half of this plus that is always going to be 31. So if I made this 16, then I would still need an additional 15 to make 31. But making that 16 is
32.
Oh, wait. I could.
Because they're halves.
The maximum here is 12. Wait. No. If I put 24 here. Right. Okay. So if I did 16, it halves down to 8. 31 still needs how many to get to 8? Or from 8 would be, what, 23?
23.
So 16 and 23 is 39, which leaves 6 left. So this is either 6 or 7, isn't it?
Yes.
And then
6, 7, 8, 9. Because it's either 6, 7, 8, 9 or 6, 8, 9.
and then this is either
Well, 5 has to be
can't
on
be 8,
there.
9, can't be 1, 2. 6 and 3. I don't know why that was difficult to think through. I probably should have just grabbed the notepad. That would have helped. Well, 8 has to be one of those two, so 8's one of those two. 1's one of these two, so this is 1. One has to be one of those two, so we get 1's there. And this has to be 1, so that's an 8. That took out 4, so it can't be 3. Not an 8 is an 8.
All right. Well, the 9 cage in box 5.
9 cage in box 5 requires
With the
8.
1 in the middle, those have to sum to doubled 8. So it has to be 7 and 9.
This is odd, so this is odd. 4 and 6 is removed. 7, 9 pair. You can put a pair of 7s. That is allowed. You can half appear twice.
Right.
If it was a pair of 7s, then that would be worth 7, and this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It would actually have to be 2, 3.
It'd be a 2, 3 pair.
But if this was a 9,
8.
then that would be 8, which would require 4, which is not allowed. So this is half 7.
And 2, 3 comes out of box 3.
So that's 1, 4. So it cannot be 1. This has to be a 2 because it had to have a 2. So 4 is removed. But this is 7. So the remainder is 38. So I have 7. This is 14. So the 7 comes off, and the 6 comes off of there. Right. 3, 5 pair.
4, 6 pair.
4, 6, 9, 7, 8, 9. Not a 9. 4 makes that a 6, makes that a 4, makes that a 5, a 3, and a 6. 6 is there. 9, not 9s. 5 and 3. This is a 9. And then I still need, what?
5, 7, 8.
Apparently that one's the 5 because 7 and 8 there. What's left over? 2, 3, and a 4, I think.
4.
This is even, so this one must be odd. And this is a whole number. So
We're already at 8.5.
yeah. 8.5 plus another half makes 9.
And 3 is 12. And that cannot be 1.
So the 3.
And it 6.5.
So that's 7. So then these two
Yeah.
are minimum 5. But they're minimum 14, which is 7. Did I do something wrong?
Something's wrong. It might be in the 9 cage. Maybe we boo-booed in that.
I mean, 1 and 8. Doubling the 8 requires 16. This can't be a 4. Did I
Half
do
of
the
9 is
1s wrong?
4.5. That's 6.5. That's 6.5.
No, this is 8.5.
Well, 9 and 4 is 13. Half of that is 6.5.
Oh, this 4 is halved. Gosh darn it. This is a 2. Okay.
6.5
6.5 and 3 is 9.5. So a half will make 10, and 2 more.
2.5. Which makes that
So
5. 3 and 5, yeah.
okay. The fact that that was halved, that I missed, made me sad. Well, I need 2 is one of those two, and then I need a 4, and then I need 5, and then I need a 6, and then I need an 8.
3 and 6.
7, 9.
7, 9.
This is 7 or 9. This is 2 or 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. This 2, 3, 5, 2, 5, 2, 3, 3. 4, 7, and 6. 4, not 4, not 4, 7, 6, 5, 4, 7. 1, 2, 3. I need a 5 and a 7.
5.
There we go. All right.
And he wasn't even here to see it.
Yeah. That's okay.
Just took a little extra brainage.
Yeah. Row. I was so scared with looking at the 4 here, but I forgot it was halved. Very nice. I mean, it took us just under 21 minutes. So it's definitely tricky. I'm gonna go with average-ish. I don't really want to say hard because of how quickly we got through it.
I don't think
Because
it's actually hard. It just took a little extra thinking.
yeah, because like the 1, 2, or excuse me, this 2 where they're both halved makes it have to be 4, which is a 1, 3. This 2, where only 1 is halved, means they both have to be 1. So that's a 1 and a 2 immediately.
even
and
though
then
you
that
tried to.
makes... Yeah, I just mirrored what was going on over here, and that was definitely wrong. And you said 1, 2. A 2 here leaves a 1, so 7, 9.
Yeah, I wouldn't go more than average on it.
Yeah. I mean, the 13 has to be a 9 and an 8. Which fixes the 7, 9 here. This being a 2, I mean, this 7 was pretty heavily restricted. This 10 as well. Although not nearly as restricted as... Because this has to be the low digit, because it's divided by 2. So the most it can be is 4. So then this was 6, 7, 8, or 9. That was a 9. So 9 and 2 comes out. I don't remember exactly how we ruled that had to be an 8 paired with a 6, but then this got pretty restricted. Yeah, the toughest thing for me was figuring out this 12, I think, and that's just because this was halved, so that was a mistake. Yeah, average, I think, is correct here. This 31 wasn't too bad, and that led to some things, the ones going around the puzzle. So I'm going to go with average. A little higher than most people, but I usually rate the difficulty a little bit higher than most people. So, all right. With that, that is going to be it for today. I have run out of brain power. Copy and paste. So yeah, we will be back tomorrow. With some more Sudoku. Shouldn't need any of that left over, so transition to the talking screen. Bring the talking screen over here. Yeah, alright, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that fancy YouTube engagement stuff. If you're interested in additional content on this channel, Sudoku is Mondays and Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. If you would like to see gaming content, I have been playing Dying Light is the new cooperative game on Saturdays, and I promise I will get back to Final Fantasy VI, I swear. But on Saturdays, that is 7 a.m. Eastern Time. With that, I want to thank Torak for being in the chat today, and that is going to be it for us. So, again, thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful day.